padma sadarda ahum banzarangara 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 Padma Sadarda Ahom 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 Banzarangara Padma Sadarda ahum banjarangara padma sadardo 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 ahum banjarangara padmasadardo 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 ahum Banzarangara Padma Sadarda Ahom 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 Banzarangara Padma Sadarda ahum banjarangara padma sadardo 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 ahum banjarangara padma sadardo
Testing, 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 testing. Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test 1, 2, 3. Test. Test 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Test. Testing 1, 2, 3.
ahum banjarangara padma sadardo 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 Ahum Banjarangara
那个灯特别小，你看，基本上看不见。其实
Ahum Banjarangara Padma Sadardo 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 ahum Banjarangar Padma Sadarda Ahom 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 Banjarangar Padma Sadarda ahum banjarangara 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 padma sadarda ahum banjarangara
Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Sara Maha Zambaba Hum Balasoha Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Sara Maha Zambaba Hum Balasoha Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Sara Maha Zambaba Hum Balasoha Om Nanta Nam Da Ram Janan Handa Bab Jashim Shobji Jana Jipaya Sarje Chudan Game Dana Bagba So Kan Lab Sham Sal Darjab Jashi Shodun Mi Jalabo Saltan Tundruburgon Shamba Janwal Gita Walatam Bakan La Gomba Jachir Dagpa Chanan Hambur Taram Hagasalata Walatan Simchanan Tamja Largon Dagpa Wala Yatsamam Zalapa Sarabata Wala Dim Sansaman Tubi Tashi Walim Hilava Devara Shakba Jala Sham Salon Jan Wala Jona Wardana Durjim Zanab Shere Gumbu Shamba Wala Saye Nyambo Daba Number Sedan Nanki Nyambo Pagam Chaka Kandab Zang Apala Durji Parkara Shandan Norwada Radha Maya Sham Sanan Lagnam Tashi Walijim Chop Shanchib Senwa Jala Sham Sador Chena Degam Chagam Tashi Sirja Nyam Dom Jom Zang Yelon Kamala Nyantaga Tonton Panso Wanabi Manav Jaram Zana Wam Jiram Korlo Steren Chena Takam Chak Jajab Sham Sanan Janam Shodim Jaraba Chojan Jit Jadama Garsong Ovo Jambi Wadapi Love Tashi Lamo Jala Sham Sadalo Tangba Chimbo Dim Jordan Midava Murton Dandan Yelabu Yelam Korton Parti Boda Lawan Mimav Zanam Tu Tridin Harzim Korlo Tang Tashalata Donton Durji Janamba Radam Jordan Jansanam Zanas Hasamanis Gelagam Tashi Pilan Jitan Joan Jalab Sham Sadalo Darjagamdar Shawa Tumba Lab Gartani Var Seva Kanajanin Dotona Walim Hila Samtuna Yapjan and Tashi Belag Pansam Sobara Shanakanda Lami Yobjem Chog Rurmujan and Tajalazin of So Jim Jalami Mulam Liv Shomi Kanam Zan Chulbatanji Zejaraje Namora Nataya Namo Bhagavati Badrasara Tamardana Tatangataya Arahati Samya Sampataya Tarayata Banjirim Banjirim Mahambanjir Mahatin Sambandra Mahabayam Bandra Mahabuddha Satam Bandra Mahabuddha Mandrupa Santarmana Bandra Sarvakarma Warana Bishudana Bandra Suhana Murana Jaya Namo Bhagavati Badrasara Tamardana Tatangataya Arahati Samya Sampataya Talayata Banjirim Banjirim Mahambanjirim Mahabuddha Satam Bandra Mahabuddha Mandrupa Santarmana Bandra Sarvakarma Warana Bishudana Bandri Suhana Murana Jaya Namo Bhagavati Bandra Sarata Mardana Tatangataya Arahati Samyak Sampadaya Tariyata Banjirim Banjirim Mahambanjir Mahatin Bandra Mahabayam Bandra Mahabuddha Satam Bandra Mahabuddha Mandrupa Santarmana Bandra Sarvakarma Warana Bishudana Bandri Suhana li sim janan kanan je gonam ker cha dale de hom ji mam zadam jom zadal ha ngonam malim chab janam chenan jerpa chamadanam kurum ji nindar shagzay zulay tam do lam dim zim shir nyala je zum charam thaye na chitam chula ba da de da ba te chatam chuma dan je zai zolam babam jahla janra jirbala sham zala satagam jobji jitna tisma jagba maya sange kan dagi mali te tagatam chadala le tanya yada tami jobje o zambu jurb molama dobda ki jarva tham chada yache mon samanda janga dalanya dalira mam tadbaye jalva kallar tab sham salalo darchi tana dalnya la sarje nama sarje je wena jipata tetre chuje nama malipa tamchada jarva taki kamaramo tetagam ngaba mazala jamso nama yanji alla jamso kananji jarva kanje yundan rabjada jam devara shagba tamchada dakim to metaga damba thawan damba da salnya nam dam shipa dimcho Chokdang Bipu Tambai, Jaravate Tagalanam Chuprabja, Nabza Tamba Namdan Jim Chokodam, Shima Paramara Ravanyambada, Kolapa Chalaparam Pagapam Chokin and Jin, Jaravate Tagalanam Chuprabja, Chulpa Ganam Lemila Jachiva, Tita Jarava Tamchadalayamu, Zambu Shola Talaput of Tagaki, Jarava Kanab Sham Salam Chuprabja. Dola chagazir da temi wangina litanya ta divjana yeti ja dipa dagi dipan chimchi ba te ta tham chada dagi sosurvja shogji jarava kanda samji chi ranjit nam dam lob dam lob da roa kan jem sun nam kan la yan te ta kan je jin sab da yara kanam shogji jitin durma nam shang cheberin ber sanji ma chagabni gombo te tagadagin tamchadalam korlob lana mirpam korvrev kol nyangananda duna gamjada te dalam ruwa kanna pham jang devapshir kalpa jang dalanyalabji parayam dagim dalmorab jerab sorabja shamsadavatam chucham shapata jisaya ram kol jang sorvaya Dewa Johnson Dakin Chapsagaba Hamchadam Dakim Shanchip Shirib Sham Janab Jipa Sanji Chumadandim Tamchadad Sapchala Nipab Shanchip Sinhua Chimbunam Lama Durjim Zamba Chimbunam Dalagon Sulam Shanchip Nyamburam Chijivara Sanji Nam La Jabzunch Chudam Shanchip Sinhua Sola Divjana Jabzunch Shanchip Nyamburam Chijivara Sanji Nam La Jabzunch Chijivara Sanji Nam La Jabzunch Chudam Shanchip Sinhua Sola Divjana Jabzunch Chatar Unji Deshagim Shanchibeti Najerbadam Shanchib Zenwim Lapala Tetagaram Janani Patar Divjanandola Pantunda Shanchib Sim Najib Jajan Divjanatanam Lapala Rambab Jandab Laparabja Chatarangunji Deshagim Shanchibeti Najerbadam Shanchib Zenwim Lapala Tetagaram Janani Patar Divjanandola Pantunda Shanchib Sim Najib Jajan Devjan Danam Lapala, Rambab Jandam Laparabja, Chatarangonji, Desharajim, Shanchabatin, Kilapatam, Shanchabasin, Lapala, Tetaram Janani Batar, Devjan Dolam, Antunda, Shanchabasim, Tiajan. Devjan Danam Lapala, Rambab Jandam Laparabja, Tanti, Dartim Div, Yudam, Yetal Balapato. Terarji research, Sanji is a Tajarato. Tanab the kitchen, Ritam Thumbale, Samadem, Jumalam Samburium Dala, Yoparam and Geratatarabsha, Long Shatara Pampuli, Chatarin Chinanian Patar, Devjan and Jesu Tartini, Semna the Laschi, Lucky Teram Turpatam to the church, Ramdo, Beshakan Yalatan. De lam dundu uzan anjil hatang laman la soga gavaraji shanchibzim choram buchi marchi pa namachi geraji pa nyamba me parayang kone kondam pervarasho Shanchibzim damam darajam shanchibshul labjurvata sarji namchi yom zomsham dadgeli namafavarasho Shanchibzim wanamji num rutunan la gondrubisham gumbuina kargomba simcham la timjurasho Simchana Tamchadam de Tanga, Dankerji, Andrew Tamchada, Tombarasho, Shanchibazin, Kanta, Sarvjigapa, Teta Ganji, Molamam Japarejo, Mahosha, Dechin, Barava, Wanga, Bobjanda, de Tonzo to Shirka, Machadev, Bamiram Jani, Durginia Mana, Chimbuan, Turkana, and Dai, Durjijum, Jitina Wamji, Jichazi. Palmajerbum Kundinga Wamjer, Namtazan, once in Iraq, Sama Yeshi Badravara, Demjon Pajerpo, de Chinity, Malay Jirgi, M. Tori Chetamam, Chotan Mishade, Wamsi, de Tonker, Wamsala Durji, Wawaki, Nantom Nimba Chimbu, Anirat, Durji, Karchi, Samayo, Gamelasum Gajin, Kamsum, was there a Marbon Kundi, like Chavaji, Tamchaleoshan, the Perapsi, Durjin Chapa, Chimbuti, Nami, Drum Durgim, Durji Japan Chimbu, not to the Deva Chimbrodum Shilapa, Tai Jim Dava, Karajan, and Darji Conwab Shiva, Jim Jigaba, Ramjam Sasama, Wangal, Hatsola, Gibis, and Dipsup Shinjilo, Chotan, Udrum, Dargim Patad, Tomili Wanda, Jebun, Drusolo, Mahonsha, Bechin, Barava, Wanga, Popjanda, Deton Sosor, Topa, Yashirka. Then the Miram Zani, Durjania Mana, Chimbo, Churkana, and Durji, Jitina Wamji, Jichazi, Palmajerbon, Kundinga, Wamjer, not just the no once in Heraga, Sama Yeshi, Bandravara, Dem Chandor Pajerbo, de Chenetir, Malay Jergi, M. Tori, Chetaman, Chotan, Shaji, Wamsi, de Tonker, Wamsa Durji, Wanda Kids, Antom Nimba Chimbo, Yanet, Durji, Garjeta Samayo, Gamalasum Gabjadi, Kamsum, was there a Marbum Kundi, like Herbertaji, Tamchadeo, the Pershi, Durji Chaba, Chimbuti, Namni, Mudrum, the game, Chotoja, Durji Chaba, Chimbu, not to the Deva Chimburdum Shilapa, Tai Jim Teladava, Karchan, and Tarji Conva Shiva, Jim Zipa, Ramjam Sasama, Wangal, Hatsola, Gibis, and the Sushinjilo, Chotana, Mudrum, the Gi Watad, Tommy the one that should burn, Soloma, Honsha, Dechin, Baraba, Wanga, Pop Janta, Deton Sosor, Top Yeshirka, Macha Dev, the number Miram Jani, Durginia Mana, Chimbuhan, Churkana, and Tai, Durji, Jitin, Wamsi, Jichazi, Palmajerbon, Kundinga, Wamjer, and doesn't know once in Heraka, Sama Yeshim, Badravara, Dem Chondor Pajerpo, Decinatir, Malay Jirgi, M. Tori Shetaman, Chotam Shade, Wamsi, Detonker, Wamsa Durji, Wanda Kids, Nantom Nimba Chimbu, Yanet, Durji, Karjeta Samayo, Gamalasum Gabjadi, Kamsum, Walazara Marpon Kundi, Ola Chabataji, Tamchaleoshan, the Perapsi, Durji Chapa, Chimbuti, Nani, Mudrum, the Gim, Chotoja, Durji Chapa, Chimbu, not to the Deva Chimburdum Shilapa. Javaro Karchan, Tarji Goma Shiva Jimjip, Ramjam Sasama Wangala Zola, Gibi Surwan de Sushinjil, Chotan or Drum Durgi Fatad, told me the wonder ship Traversal Ordiana again, Abshan, Sama Balama, Kesara Dombola, Yansan and Chogan, or Jabni, the Pama, Johnny, Jesus, Jagam Kortan, Kandu, Mambo, Korachari, Jesus, Dr. Jeep, Shinji, Lobshire, Shazazul, Gara Padamasa, the Home, Jadabangaram, some Jadatam, Japarim, and Chimbo Jad, Shansim Newer, Street Jadata, Jepsin Gabjal, Hazolam, Zoram, Dipsup, Shinjelo, Vashana, Sami, Varchela, some by Ipsin, the Pada, Chodan, Hamon, Jabzula, Jadabangaram, some Jadata, Japarim, and Chimbo Jada, Shansim Newer, Street Jetta, Jepsin Gabjal, Hazolam, Zoram, Dipsup, Shinjelo, Vashana, Sami, Varchela, some by Ipsin, the Pada, Chodan, Hamon, Jabzula, Jadabangaram, some Jadata, Japarim, and Chimbo Jada, Shansim Newer, Street Jetta, Jepsin Gabjal, Hazolam, Zoram, Dipsup, Shinjelo, Vashana, Sami, Varchela, some by Ipsin, the Pada, Chodan, Hamon, Jabzula, Jadabangaram, some Jetta, Japarim, and Chimbo Jada, Shansim Newer, Street Jetta, Jepsin Gabjal, Hazolam, Zoram, Dipsup, Shinjelo, Vashana, Sami, Varchela, some by Ipsin, the Pada, Chodan, Hamon, Jabzula, Jadabangaram, some Jetta, Japarim, and Chimbo Tama, Joseph, Bangaram, some Jatam, Japarin, in Chimbo Jetta, Shansam New, Jetta, Repsim Gabjela, Zolam, Servan Dips of Shinjelo, Shanasami, Varchazula, some by Epson, the Padam, Chatan Tama, Joseph, Bangaram, some Jetta, Japarin, in Chimbo Jetta, Shansam New, Jetta, Repsim Gabjela, Zolam, Servan Dips of Shinjelo, Shanasami, Varchazula, some by Epson, the Padam, Chatan Tama, Joseph, Bangaram, some Jetta, Japarin, in Chimbo Jetta, Shansam New, Jetta, Repsim Gabjela, Zol, Servan Dips of Shinjelo, Bashana, Sami, Varchazula, some by Epson, the Bada, Chodan, Tanmo, Reversal, Chelam, Dorjam, Sorvatap, Tim, Dazogan, Nibus of Shavasa, Natan, Galapon, Tapsula, Javada, Chudan, Jashim, Pirver, Zalatu, Solo, Jimila, Tomba, Yelata, Tim Jonga, now I'm giving me the Zonji, Jimmy, Ramdan. I'm current to Gentu, where engines on Japan, the Stone Bass on me, the Shaja Sangina, Sergeant, Dogjan and Sandal, Wave Shadadan, Chugo, some Solodurji, the Tom ship, Shagaye, Sagana, Shagja, Dagjan, Shagayona, Yam, Shagab, the Seal, Homes, Alana, Sergir, Tarazab, Jella, Walambarava. Yes, she was a Javi, Kwayan, Jabani, worship, Jadan, if the Namcha. Paganso Jamsum, Kurji, Yom Kurjan, Jamba, Zamji, Jim Tamili, and I'm to the day when Chaka, Walasulova, Jabkanam deep, Daniel, Chimbur, Yanji, Chimbo, so Danani, Mijam, Zoni, Molam, and Chimbo, Najatab, Tarkara, Taram, some two Shirmur, Doitum, Bad Hijan, Live, Sham Salado, Darjana, Gosama, Gates, all on Shurji. Kanazan Churput and the Minimber Tomala Nibs of the Tomali Banyanim Jurpa Jacapos, Surim Shaka Tagatan, so she will give one Tisam Salajis, Yerongo Zabjaji, Chuchim Kurlu, Salam Shakjere, Genamam Chalaparam Korta Solo, Chunanam Kashtavi, Yeshirka, Tisam Punjurme, Parabshimolaji, the Shinang or a change at Salatan. Jarpazirka, Tartan, Varemzod, Daki, Dixam, Sarapagi, Jim, Quatjabum, Doakan, Lab, and Halata, Chuji, Jalabu, Tarparam, Nipshin, Jan, Chuji, Jalava, Compound, Operation, Darchani, Mim, Doam, Gumilanama, Tiji, Larparab, Zomba, Quatanani, Jantan, the Renchen, and Amsamanje, now I genial, Jin, Tenlinial, Tevsur, Jam, Chakosumi, Yeti Talapina, Soran Devana. Tamja Chin Boma Yanavar, Shanchava Varta, Tiji, Jim Zan and Zoda, nam cha nam jer pa da zam li pa chen ji tum ber ke le ye shi ji wa zra na zog ba na wa chim bo dag dang sim chen nan tham cha da ji ra pa tham cha lam sar jang thak ba chim bo lam je yon dan cha da jan da ji di shar mar dog ba sa non bar sam lam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che wam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che wam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che wam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che wam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che wam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che wam lam tum ba chum dan di di jna shak ba da chum ba yang da bar zo ba san ji khwar jeram shak ja da ba la shagem zalam chutur chep sim che o tare da mani mani mahamanai zo tare da mani mani mahamanai zo tare da mani mani Mahamanai zo tare ta 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 mani mani mahamanai zo ha mani mani mahamanai zo 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 hai devara shakpa chirka chanda tam kurta gatsi sata jankamanda chirjem sam chagab zambu chanda wa tendra konaram dagso jaravara sho nami sarvata thangata bayom bakum kambe sarvata kangate saparana manganga Gansu hai ji dotan gandavar ramham dochi resan bami jim jada sanchina jal norvar dam dal quadar bonjem jim zolam chato samdan hanjavan zor jim dotan gandavar ramham dochi resan bami jim jada sanchina jal norvar dam dal quadar bonjem jim zolam chato samdan hanjavan zor jim dotan gandavar ramham dochi resan bami jim jada sanchina jal norvar dam dal quadar bonjem jim zolam chato samdan hanjavan zor gandab samo yeshi rubizan yandi janmo ekanda jama yeshi le dam jetin mamozom zolam chatam churvim chalim zod hoy gandab samo yeshi rubizan yandi janmo ekanda jama yeshi le dam jetin mamozom zolam chatam churvim chalim zod hoy gandab samo yeshi rubizan yandi janmo ekanda jama yeshi le dam jetin mamozom zolam chatam churvim chalim zod trong trong chăm chỉ chim bồ ra là cho ba năm giờ đông mòn chờ chờ ta za ta giờ cái trắc ba tiếp chỉ làm chim rồi làm cho tâm chân mềm chân mềm rồi sơ trong trong chăm chỉ chim bồ ra là cho ba năm giờ đông mòn chờ chờ ta za ta giờ cái trắc ba tiếp chỉ làm chim rồi làm cho tâm chân mềm chân mềm rồi sơ trong trong chăm chỉ chim bồ ra là cho ba năm giờ đông mòn chờ chờ ta za ta giờ cái trắc ba tiếp chỉ làm chim rồi làm cho tâm chân mềm chân mềm rồi đam chân chế vợ chém bù tùy liêm sân chế đêm tham am dân gom phô nhị sô cặp chân sâm chế trì chi sô tam chim sô lâm chế tâm chân viêm chân liêm sô hoi đam chân chế vợ chém bù tùy liêm sân làm chế đêm tham am dân gom phô nhị sô cặp chân sâm chế trì chi sô tam chim sô lâm chế tâm chân viêm chân liêm sô hoi đam chân chế vợ chém bù tùy liêm sân làm chế đêm tham am dân gom phô nhị sô cặp chân sâm chế trì chi sô tam chim sô lâm chế tâm chân viêm chân liêm sô Parma Wanga Quanyanam Tawachi, Chepsana Dagba Jerbo Yoni, where Bo kwa kwa de ban jin solom chatam chulmim chanim zut shapan ma wang go kwa nyan ta wo che chep zana da pa jer bo yang le we sa mar bo kwa kwa de ban jin solom chatam chulmim chanim zut shapan ma wang go kwa nyan ta wo che chep zana da pa jer bo yang le we sa mar bo kwa kwa de ban jin solom chatam chulmim chanim zut có gì yella trăm ba trăm chi jam do da pa ngo chwe te varam za da pa ye chur chong ye jnam nor va chenam ji da gam sam tu mali nyer drem zol am gorndi chukana ka ta gari banga ram da mam ge ye shi olni lo wo wardanam jambu durjila namba chapchi yelabjina norvanyela karaksalam zim samam banja taya chi chumchadab shagji ralja legwamanam jabani kelatron ola ziram midam cho ranan tagap janda lama mir salai ni chin rao ser ni jang kama san jama khwalai the yeb shalab yed de pan toy javala solorwa de bergom de der to pan povar psenen ki lob ani chinera wo serni jang kama san jama khwalai the yeb shan lab yed larman ji me de pan zor jabala solorwa dem der to baim povar pshenen ki glob ani chinera wo serni jang kama san jama khwalai the yeb shan lab yed larman ji me de ban zoy jabala solorwa de gom de to baim povar pshenen ki lobam tharnam lam olni thilir cherang shwoni janya wintam jadkan yeshi chimdi blamada kalawan nyambum shanab tob parasam Ganda Yang Tam Lama Tam Demid Chuji Wala Long Shid Jang Sada Lam Je Yun Den Rab Zuni Durjim Changa Gomba Nyur Thoba Shoy Chamadan Dim Gombam Jam Halayan Shagam Zalalo Ganga Lobju Jim Jim Daranya Taranam Tarab Sadavi Chanyara Dungan Jam Zivshirin Yirji the Garalawan Zan Gandaka Tapazaramare Mantan of the Alaji Drozogan Lava Sim Tarzi Yalla Jiji Ayandana Son Dictare Chetum Yamonia Lonely Chakadrum Zadaja Mare Mamsada Dimanayakan Chimila Chulam Zalaratana Donate Tarjan Sabjim Tarsan Yundan Lizo Jeti Taworka Chatakab Jadam Jenny Jamji Daglo Mansanam Jamhala Ayala the Domara Patana Domara Patana Domara Patana Umara Patana Domara 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 Patana Umara Patana Umara Patana Umara Patana Umara Patana Arapatana dom 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 Sedan Kirjim Kerava or Zaraji Damlo Tamim Barab Salani Kadam Damju Jonli Dogbayam no Jud Baba No, I'm jealous.
It seems that you don't have any principle. You would clap at anything I show you. Zalin German Dogmaza Churtan Shir, George Shimim Tamid Murtushir, Denner Stagda Nimet Murtushir, Jigmet Chuja Mavshir, Ranjan Shir, Tia Mechan Chamet, Numirga Me Party, Denner Stagda Tamshirdan, Jivi Shirdan Yongron Shir, Den Yiti Ranjanji, Liti Temer Stagbi Shir, Samatiam Jiran Chumbo Yi, Den Manchif Tambi Shir, Vakcham Chamu Nadnam Yi, Onodme Javanya Shir, Zamet Mumbrand of Shiti, Yongron Shirnar Gavamet, De Latsuni, Devjin, Nida, Niki, Korum, Jan, Dimashi, Yanglan, Stagba, Lasso, Donshi Sha, Mazda Yundan, Dandan Shir. Janjira man the Tabiton, Tai, Madame Zombie Shir, Jabji Daniel Tambiton, Number Marto, Ranjan Shir, 원님의 추니도 제비 돈나 마주 용도나 녀도 싫나 지금의 돈노 용종 녀도 강실때 강실 추지 그때는 대비정서 때는 법에된 바돈 돈덤 냥은데 대비실은 녀도 제진 용도나 예르메페 상진일레 막돈 냥은 대바 메드
Now, let's begin our class on Uttara Tantra Shastra. First, I would like to then address the upcoming schedule. The next week, starting from next week, in fact, we'll alternate our classes on Uttara Tantra Shastra and the Analects of Confucius. So next week we will have the Analects of Confucius, and we'll have that class on Saturday. And the week after, we will then have Uttara Tantra Shastra on the week after, which is September 14th. So the week after, in fact, it is after the September 14th, the following week we'll have the Analects, and then the following week we'll have Uttara Tantra Shastra. So from next week onwards, the classes and the schedules are will have a few adjustments in terms of our classes. So this year we won't be able to finish our lessons on the Uttara Tantra Shastra this year, but next year I think we'll be able to finish it. Because now we have many subjects, therefore I have to arrange it accordingly. So for those of you who want to study, who have this eagerness to study, and who have such energy to study, then it would be wonderful for you to continue to study all the lessons. But if you can't, then you can make your choices. Next week we'll start our first class on Suragama Sutra, and then we'll continue the class until the end of October. I think beginning of November we will have the annual retreat in Larongar. Therefore, we will have no class in November. Maybe we'll resume our class in December. So this is the rough schedule. I think lots of people who are listening, if we do not have any classes, lots of people are very curious about the time and the arrangement for classes. And when we have classes, then they want to know the time arrangement for holidays. That's why I want to make such an announcement. So, Uttara Tantra Shastra. Now we're on the Buddha Nature chapter, and in this chapter there are the 10 aspects which then included in the 8 outlines. We're currently on the 7th outline, where it talks about unchangingness. And in terms of this unchangingness, it has the 3 stages or 3 statuses. The first one, it talks about the mundane beings, which is the defiled or impure, and the second stage is the partly purified and partly unpurified, and then the third stage, that is completely pure. that has never changed. As we talked earlier, I think lots of people wonder that lots of people do know that Buddha nature exists, but how? I think lots of people do not understand that. In fact, there are the mundane beings, and there are the arhats, there are the bodhisattvas, and there are the Buddhas. So how does Buddha nature reside in each and every being? Do they reside in each and every being in a way that it changes, or in a way that it doesn't change? So everyone have very different ideas and different doubts and questions about how Buddha nature resides within everyone. So in this text, in fact, it in detail explains how and why Buddha nature resides within every sentient being. Of course, it only is meaningful and valuable for those of you who are curious about Buddha nature. And for those people who are only interested about TV series, they probably have no interest in this anyways. Doesn't matter how much I give teachings on this. For those of you who are interested in these teachings, then I really encourage you to study previously and then study afterwards, and then read into it and study into it, so that this teaching would make a difference to you. And when you can do that, this teaching will act as a foundation for your future understandings as well as your practices. In terms of propagating of the correct Dharma, there are two aspects. The first aspect is the Dharma of the doctrine, and the second aspect is personal realization. So in terms of the doctrine aspect of the correct Dharma, then you have to invest your time into studying the text, the Buddha Dharma. So for those of you who want to propagate the Dharma in the future, then first of all, you have to understand the teaching first, so that later on you can propagate and teach this to others. Because if you don't understand to begin with, how can you then give the teaching to others? From Buddhist point of view, it is not that you have to then propagate as a one-man band. You have to also work with others. When we talk about the three jewels, we talk about the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the Sangha is a community, which is a group of people who have kindred spirit, who have the same goal, who have the same aspiration. So for the 2,000 years, in fact, Buddhism have this complete system of studying, practice, and contemplation all together. Therefore, I think we should also then try to propagate the Dharma and benefit the sentient beings in terms of groups, the groups or communities of lay practitioners, as well as groups of monastics, or the conjoined groups of monastics and lay practitioners. And in terms of management, we have already set rules and ways of managing different groups. We do not need to then develop new rules or anything. Therefore, I really hope that you could read into such kind, or you could really read into such kind of different rules or different regulations. So let's continue with the stanzas. First of all, it talks about unchangingness in the utterly purified phase. So the Buddha nature at the impure as well as partially pure and partially impure stages, the Buddha nature does not change. But how about at the stage of Buddhahood? In fact, even at the stage of Buddhahood, Buddha nature does not change either. So today, this is our content. This is the content that we're going to learn. it talks about the four aspects. So the Dharmakaya does not change into something else since it has exhaustible properties. It is the refuge of beings since it protects them without any limit of time until the final end. It is always free from duality since it is foreign to all ideation. It is also an indestructible state since its nature is uncreated. At the stage of Buddhahood, how does Buddha nature exist within? In fact, the Buddha nature is also changeless because the Buddha's body, the true Buddha's kaya, is Dharmakaya, unlike our body, because our body would transform from one place to the other. And for example, maybe today you are a human being, and then tomorrow you could be reborn into celestial realm and have a celestial being's body. But for Buddha, he has this Dharmakaya. And this Dharmakaya has the attribute of permanence, being unchangingness itself. It does not change into something else in the sense of one physical form being abandoned to be replaced by another. In fact, for human beings, for mundane beings, whenever we die, whenever we abandon this physical body, then we have to adapt to a different form, a different body. For example, if you were to be reborn in a celestial realm, then you will have to adapt into a celestial being's body. But for the Buddhas, they're not like that. In the Dharmakaya, it doesn't change. So over here, it talks about the changelessness. And it is because the Buddha does not have any remainder of skandhas. It possesses immeasurable properties. These being the inexhaustible absolute qualities. And the Dharmakaya is the supreme refuge of all sentient beings, unfailing and undeceptive. So if the Buddha or Dharmakaya is not a permanent refuge place, such as all the other things that would change. Maybe today you're alive and tomorrow you're dead. And then how can you call yourself as being a refuge to all the other beings? But for the Buddhas, they're not like that at all. This is because the Buddhas possess the qualities protecting them from any without any limitation of time until the final end, as long as the samsara lasts. Previously, in the first chapter, that is the summary chapter, where it talks about it in a true sense, only the Buddha is being's refuge, since the great sage embodies the Dharmakaya, and the assembly also reaches its ultimate goal when these qualities of Dharmakaya are attained. And then at that time they talked about how all the other things will how the other things are impermanent and so on, but Dharmakaya is not. And then over here, this point talks about the steadfast aspect or quality of Dharmakaya. The third one talks about it is always free from duality. In fact, the Dharmakaya is then undefiled from and free from duality of samsara and nirvana. For example, the downfalls of samsara, the merits of nirvana, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and all of these dualities are completely then freed. So from this aspect, then it talks about the peace, the complete peace aspect of Dharmakaya. And then the last one, it talks about the indestructible state. Why is it indestructible? Because this Dharmakaya is permanent. It won't be destructed at all. Why is that? Because this Dharmakaya is not based on any cause or conditions. All the created or all the conditioned, they are based or reliant upon different causes and conditions, but Dharmakaya is not like that. Dharmakaya is uncreated, and Dharmakaya is not based on karma and mental poisons. Therefore, it is permanent and it is indestructible. So Dharmakaya has these four kinds of aspect, and therefore we should view Dharmakaya in such a way that is permanent. So the Dharmakaya has such aspects. According to Master Fascian's Mahaparinirvana Sutra, it says that from now on, do not think of the Tathagata as being impermanent. You should know that the Tathagata is unchangeable and lasts forever. The nature of Tathagata lasts and is indestructible. In the Golden Light Sutra, it also says the same thing. From the ultimate sense, the Buddha, the Tathagata, does not have any destruction. In fact, the Dharmakaya is indestructible and permanent. So this is the summary. And then later on, it has the three aspects: a detailed explanation of its meaning, and a presentation of freedom from birth and so forth, and then concise explanation of each individually. So.
这次这个冷眼印的还可以。
I like this printing, this edition of Shuragama Sutra.
.这样的，下面就是讲这个，前面的这个意义啊，就是前面的这个意义。So, 如果光做的话，就是前面讲。
To detail explain.
无生啊，也无死，无害也无老。
It is not born and it does not die. It suffers no harm and does not age, since it is permanent and steadfast, the state of peace and immutability. So Buddha nature is completely pure, and it did not have any causes to born, such as the causes of father and mother. It does not have birth. And because it doesn't have birth, then it doesn't have death. Just as you can't say that a barren woman's son, whom does not exist, was born and died. And it doesn't have any different process or different stages of aging or sickness. And because of all of these, it has 4 different stages. So because it is not born, therefore it is called permanent. Because it does not die, therefore it is called steadfast. And because it doesn't suffer from illness, then it is called a state of peace. And because it doesn't age, then it is called immutability. So that's how they correspond to each other. This is quite important to remember. When we study Uttara Tantra Shastra, you need to know this these four aspects, these four qualities, that is permanent, steadfast, peaceful, and immutable. These four words are the terms of Uttara Tantra Shastra that you should remember. The Chinese translation is a bit different than this one that I translated. According to Ranamurti, as well as some other people's translation, the Chinese words are used differently. But permanent, steadfast, peaceful, and immutable, these four are the most important jargons that you should remember in this text, because they can describe the qualities of the Buddha nature. In fact, this teaching should be easy to understand, especially when you understand the no birth and no death aspect. If there's no birth and no death, then definitely there's no illness and no aging. According to Manjushri's inquiry on the Dharmakaya Sutra, it says that the Dharmakaya has no birth. If it has birth, it will have death. Since it is not born, you should know the Buddha does not die. If there's birth, there's definitely death. But Dharmakaya was never born. Therefore, there's no death for Dharmakaya. And if there's no beginning and no end, no birth and no death, how could there be a middle where there's illness and aging? How does Buddha nature reside in the stage of Buddhahood? It, in fact, resides as the way that it is permanent, steadfast, peaceful, and immutable. For people who may feel that if this is the case, then why do we view the Buddha have birth and death? Why do we view that the Buddha was born in Lumbini and then passed away and passed into parinirvana? Why do we still see and perceive such birth and death? There was a sutra, it's called the Manjushri's Inquiry Sutra, where it says that just like how a glass is completely transparent and pure, it doesn't have any color itself, but when you place such a glass on top of other colors, then it will appear as if the glass has some other colors. Just like that, the Buddha would appear and manifest in front of different sentient beings according to their capacity of understanding and their karma and the perception of the glass or the perception of the Buddha is completely different. So, if you place the glass on top of blue, then you'll definitely see the glass as blue. And if you were to place the glass on top of yellow, then it's different. Just like that, if you were to place the glass on top of blue for an hour or two, it will last for that period of time. But once you take that glass away, then right away the blue would disappear. Just like that, the Buddha doesn't have any inherent existence of any of any defilement or any kind of birth and death. However, in front of different sentient beings, the Buddha would manifest in different forms according to different beings' capacity of perceiving. That is why when some great masters, that is why the Buddha manifests birth and death, and the same as the great masters. There's another sutra. I think it is the Sutra of Heap of Jewels. There was a bodhisattva whose name is Wondrous. Wondrous castle where the bodhisattva asked, why does the Buddha only lived up until 80 years old? Because the two main causes of longevity is not harming others and to offer the Dharma, or to practice generosity of Dharma offering. And the Buddha definitely fulfilled both of the causes, but why does the Buddha only lived for 80 years? And upon having this doubt, 4 lotus flowers started to blossom at the 4 corners of his room, and 4 Tathagatas appear on top of the lotus blossom that has a lion's seed on it. And upon appearing, right away the disabled then gained the perfection of their body, and people received whatever they want. So lots of miraculous incidents started to appearing. And then the Bodhisattva started pondering again, thinking that Shakyamuni Buddha should have the same kind of merit and qualities such as these 4 Tathagatas who appeared in the 4 corners of my room. However, why doesn't the Buddha Shakyamuni manifest in such a way to transform the city? And why doesn't Shakyamuni Buddha live for a long period of time? And then these 4 Tathagatas sitting at the 4 corners started to expound the Dharma, saying that in fact the Buddha does not have a limitation of life and longevity. And they started to then chant in verses such as, even if one can precisely count the water drops of the ocean, one is never able to measure the lifespan of the Buddha Shakyamuni. So this is according to the Golden Light Sutra. And the metaphor goes on about how the Mount Sumeru you cannot measure the Buddha Shakyamuni's lifespan compared to Mount Sumeru cannot compare to such lifespan, and other metaphors such as this. And then the Bodhisattva continued to ponder, thinking that why doesn't Shakyamuni Buddha only manifest to have the lifespan of 80 years of age then? And then these 4 Buddhas, the 4 Tathagatas started telling him that only because when Shakyamuni Buddha appear in this world, that a human lifespan is only about 100 years old. Therefore, the Buddha manifests in such a way that he lived up till 80 years old. And this kind of impermanence, this kind of manifestation of impermanence could help sentient beings to understand the importance of studying the Dharma and the practice, and people can then have a sense of cherish a sense of cherishing mind towards studying the Dharma. So the Dharmakaya is birthless and deathless. But when appearing in front of our eyes, Shakyamuni Buddha is the Shakyamuni Buddha's lifespan is just like how human beings, the mundane human beings. It is only because the average of human lifespan is only about 100 years. So upon contemplating this, the Bodhisattva understood that the Dharmakaya is birthless and deathless, it is permanent, but the Buddha's body then manifests in this way that it has birth and death, and it manifested the illness and aging is in fact quite important. Just like how when we contemplate upon the impermanence of the great masters from the past and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the past, as well as the kings and the great noble ones in this world, all would die, and then because of this kind of impermanence, we will have this mind of cherishing the opportunity of studying the Dharma. Then the next one is a detailed explanation combining them. It is not even born in a body of mental nature, since it is permanent, steadfast, it does not die, not even though the death and the transmigration that constitute an inconceivable transformation, since it is peace, it does not even suffer harm from illness caused by subtle karma imprints. Since it is immutable, there is not even aging induced by compositional factor free from stain. In fact, the bodhisattvas and mundane beings are completely different. In fact, when we talk about bodhisattvas and mundane beings, it's very different than the Buddha. Not only the Buddha does not have the birth and death of bodhisattva, doesn't have any of the birth and death. So the body of a mental nature, that is the consciousness body. So consciousness body doesn't have any skandhas, but consciousness body can then be reborn into any places that they want. They can then reborn in a lotus flower or into Pure Land or so. It's almost like the Bardo body. But Bardo body is the kind of body that is then imputed by the power of karma. However, consciousness body is different than that, such as consciousness body of Arhat is not based on afflictions or mental poisons. Rather, it is because of their undefiled karma. And the Buddha doesn't even have such kind of undefiled karma. The Buddha doesn't have any causes of rebirth, defiled karma. The Buddha doesn't have any causes of rebirth or birth at all. So the Buddha doesn't have the body of mental nature or the consciousness body. Since, therefore, it is permanent because it doesn't have any birth. So that's the first one. The second one is steadfast. It does not die, not even through the death and transmigration that constitute an inconceivable transformation. Usually there's for mundane beings, we have this conceivable transformation that we would abandon this body and then have a different body to take in or to migrate into a different body. But the bodhisattvas have inconceivable transformation. Vimalak, just like Vimalakirti, maybe he died in the other Pure Land, and to be reborn in this Pure Land, he completely disappeared from one Pure Land to the other. He just completely disappeared, and unlike how mundane beings would then abandon this body that is conjured by the four elements, the bodhisattvas would then take this inconceivable transformation. But for a Buddha, he doesn't even have such an inconceivable transformation because he doesn't have death. So the Buddha is steadfast. The next one, since it is peace, it does not even suffer harm, because the Buddha does not have any of the two obscurations. For bodhisattvas, they still have the subtle obscuration. They still have the undefiled ignorance. They still have such a kind of subtle veil consisting of the remaining imprints of ignorance. The bodhisattvas, they still have some of the undefiled karma. They still have karma. The defiled karma would then make mundane beings to be reborn again and again in the samsara, the 6 realms. However, for arhats as well as bodhisattvas, they still have subtle karma. However, they are undefiled karma. Their karma is not associated with 3 poisons or mental poisons. Rather, it is devoid of those. But for Buddha, the Buddha doesn't even have any of the undefiled karma. So the Buddha would be devoid of birth, death, old age, and sickness. And that is why the Buddha is permanent, steadfast, and peaceful and immutable. This is quite important. I remember that back in 1986, maybe in 1985, that was my first year in Larangar, and that year he gave the teaching on the commentary of the Madhyamika Avatara, and then he went to Xinlong Prefecture, and then Xinlong County. And then around that time, we only had about 150 people in Larangar. So after Phuntsho Rinpoche took about 100 people with him, only very little people left to study with Khenpo Gardo. And sometimes we would chat underneath, and we would chat behind the Khenpo Gardo's back during the class, and Khenpo Gardo would warn us, hey, pay attention. This is quite important. Permanent, steadfast, peaceful, and immutable. Did you remember that? In fact, at that time I was very young. I was 23 years old. I was 23 years old only. Just like how some of the Sangha member over here nowadays, the young ones who would listen and then get distracted by all kinds of distractions. They would touch here and touch there and look here and look there. And then Khenpo Gardo would kept on reminding us, hey, pay attention, pay attention. The more he said pay attention, the more we would get distracted, because he had a very good temper, actually. He would warn us, but he wouldn't get angry. Unlike some of our Khenpos and Khenmos who have such big tempers, and they would lash out their anger from time to time. Well, sometimes it is quite important to be wrathful, but it's not necessary to show such kind of wrath on every little things. Some teachers that I know, when they are not in good mood, then they will punish their students. I think that's quite inappropriate. Anyhow, at that time, I really remembered Khenpo Gardo, who had a great compassion towards us, because it doesn't matter how naughty we were at that time, he would never punish us. So these 4 words, 4 terms, that really reminds me of the summer of 1985, when we were listening to the Dharma teachings of Buddha nature on this beautiful carpet of summer flowers of Sirta. At that time, I think we only had maybe 2 classes altogether, and the whole valley is completely empty, completely vast and beautiful. And then we were all writing this letter to Phuntsog Rinpoche, and we don't really know what to say. So we asked what should we write to Phuntsog Rinpoche, and then Khenpo Gardo said that, well, you should write that everyone here is doing fine. Don't worry, there's no bandits and thieves over here. We said everything's good, there's no bandits. So at that time, Khenpo asked us to write in such a way. I really remember the kind of atmosphere for studying at the time. Sometimes I would remember those scenes, and it really planted all of those seeds, the good seeds of Dharma in my heart, and I am really grateful to all the Khenpos who taught me and planted the good seed in my mind stream. Okay, so the next one, it's a summary of its meaning, where it says sentences from the foregoing 2 by 2. The uncreated expanse should be known as possessing in the same sequence the attributes of being permanent and so forth. Each one would then correspond to 2. So this is a summary of the next stanza, and it connects to the next stanza. So it used 2 sentences or 2 verses to explain how it is permanent, steadfast, peaceful, and immutable. Some of the Chinese translation should be corrected a little bit. So of the foregoing verses of the 2 sentences, the Dharmakaya does not change into something else, and it is not even born. And then that refers to the attribute of reference. So this 2 refers to the attribute of permanence, and likewise to the 2 sentences, it is refuge of beings and steadfast, it does not die. So this 2 refers to the attribute of steadfast, and then the 2 sentences, it is always free from duality, and since it is peace, refers to the attribute of peace. And the 2 sentences is also an indestructible state, and since it is immutable, refers to the attribute of immutability. So in total, there are the 8 sentences in the same sequence in which these 4 attributes are given in the foregoing sections. The true state, the expanse, not created by cause and conditions, is to be known from the sutras. So
刚才前面也讲了，它有具有无尽无边的这个功德就是有什么这个
Buddha, in fact, the Dharmakaya has this inexhaustible qualities, such as the four fearlessness and 10 kinds of powers and so on. All of these are then are endowed with the Dharmakaya. It is changeless. That is why it is called the attribute of permanence. Equaling the utmost end, because it is then doesn't have any end, and it is equal. Therefore, it is the steadfast refuge place. Then the next one, since the absence of thought, it doesn't have any duality. Therefore, it has the attribute of peace. That's the third one. And the fourth one is that hosting uncreated qualities, it is immutable itself. It is not created. It is not conditioned by the cause and conditions. Therefore, it is immutable and it is indestructible. So that's the fourth one, the four qualities, and it should be understood in such a way. Some commentaries, though, it says that the inexhaustible qualities and unchangingness is permanence. Equaling the utmost end, it is the attribute of steadfast. So anyhow, it then gives the reason and gives its results. But we're studying from the Dopopa's teaching. I think our current version is probably more reasonable. Now, we've already finished the previous 7 points. Now we move to the 8th point, where it has, where then it talks about the inseparability of the qualities. So, first one is a short explanation by means of names. Why is it the Dharmakaya, the Tathagata, the Noble Truth, and Absolute Nirvana, its qualities are inseparable like the sun and its rays? Thus, other than Buddhahood, there is no Nirvana. This is quite important. What does that mean? It means that the Dharmakaya that is completely pure, what is it? In fact, the Dharma, the Tathagata Garbha, is the one who has realized the truth and thusness, who's seen the truth and could be called the Dharmakaya. So Tathagata or Dharmakaya or the noble ones, or the truth that is, or the noble truth, as well as absolute nirvana. These 4 kinds of names. So these 4 names, in fact, all refers to the Buddha. Just as the sun, the sun ray, the sunlight, and the sun cannot be separated. We do not say that the sun illuminates the world, but not the sunlight. We cannot say that the sunlight doesn't illuminate the world, it is only the sun itself. We cannot say that, it is inseparable in fact.
下面会讲什么故为这个成佛见不得涅槃果啊，就是不能什么不能得涅槃如你光显不能见日论，就是下面还会讲的。
Later part, then it has the part where it says explains how without the sun, you should not separate the sunlight and the sun rays.
才是真正的涅槃成佛了真正涅槃。所以这一句呢，就刚才就是我们这个寄送的话呢，就是大家也应该明白，就是实际上是
I hope
法身也好
you should understand this stanza, the Dharmakaya or Tathagata or the Noble Truth or the Absolute Nirvana. They all point to the Buddha. This sentence, in fact, is quite profound. In fact, Pongsu Rinpoche, upon teaching this, in fact, he passed into Parinirvana after finished teaching this. At that time, we didn't understand why, but after over a decade, we then realized that we felt that at the moment of him passing into Parinirvana, his manifestation of death is completely different than the mundane beings. So it says that other than the Buddha, there is no actual or true nirvana. So I think upon teaching this and then passed into Parinirvana, Pongsu Rinpoche really manifested how he had already attained the supreme realization, that is Buddhahood. On the day of Pongsu Rinpoche's cremation, there are lots of beautiful light, lots of oval-shaped and cylindrical-shaped lights all appear in the stainless sky. And according to Longchenpa's teaching, Pongsu Rinpoche had already then attained the perfect Buddhahood. That's the manifestation, and that's the sign that he had attained such state. In my Uttara Tantra Shastra's text, in fact, I noted down at that time. When Pongsu Rinpoche gave the teaching of this part, where it says that thus other than the Buddhahood there is no nirvana. When Pongsu Rinpoche gave teaching on this stanza, Pongsu Rinpoche's nirvana body, this manifested body, passed into the realm of Dharmakaya. Not many people noted down as I did. Back in 2004, in January, Pongsu Rinpoche passed into Parinirvana. In fact, back in 2003, during our Amitabha Dharma Assembly, Pongsu Rinpoche already gave us a hint. He said that maybe this is the last Dharma, this is the last Amitabha Dharma Assembly in my lifetime. I hope not, but it probably is. But if we do not meet again in this lifetime, let's all make the aspiration to be reborn in the Sukhavati Pure Land, and we will then meet again over there. If I were to pass away, do not try to find my reincarnation within 49 days after I pass away, because this is not beneficial to myself nor to the Dharma. And the most important is that after I die, I really hope that you can repay my kindness by maintaining Laronggar, to continue the lineage of studying the Dharma, and contemplating and practicing the Dharma. That's the teaching that he gave us. And after that Amitabha Dharma Assembly, then he gives the teaching of Mipa Rinpoche's commentary on Uttara Tantra Shastra. He completed that text. But when he was given teaching on Dopopa's commentary on Uttara Tantra Shastra, he manifested in a way that he fell gravely ill. And during his teaching, the disciples, upon noticing that Phuntsog Rinpoche was ill, tried to convince him to go to mainland China or go to big cities to receive some treatment from hospitals. And Phuntsog Rinpoche then hinted, saying that I could go and I don't have to go. But I think the committee over here could make such decision. If the committee, after meeting and after discussion, feel that I should go, then I will. But this time is rather very different. If it were completely up to me, even if you give me $1 million, I wouldn't go at all. But if you really insist that I should go and receive treatment from hospitals, then I will. So the management team, the committee, including Tsotsum Lodro, Khenpo Tsotsum Lodro, as well as myself and a few others, we then had a meeting in the yard of Phuntsog Rinpoche, and we really debated and discussed extensively, talking about how Phuntsog Rinpoche, through Phuntsog Rinpoche's direction, it seems that he didn't want to go, but his health is really deteriorating really fast. Therefore, upon such discussion, we decided to make a request to ask him to go to hospital and receive treatment. At that time, I was really sad, and I then went to Phuntsog Rinpoche's room and requested Phuntsog Rinpoche whether I could follow him to go to hospital with him. And Phuntsog Rinpoche said, well, it's not really necessary this time. Chikme Rinzin Rinpoche and myself, as well as a group of other Khenpos, we then saw him off on the second day. It was having some snowflakes, some flurries of snows, and when it was our turn, Phuntsog Rinpoche rolled down his window, car window, and waved us goodbye. That was the last time I saw him. Some masters pass away around the age of 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and their lifespans are very different. In fact, if some causes and conditions were met, I think Phuntsog Rinpoche would be able to stay in this world and stay with us for a longer period of time. Back in 1990s, Pansuk Rinpoche and us, when we went to Nepal, we really wanted to go to this longevity cave called Maratika. But at that time, it was very difficult for us to commute to such cave. It took a very long period of time. And only helicopters could take us, although it was really expensive at that time to hire, to then rent a helicopter to go to Maratika. We waited, we still decided to go, but the weather did not permit, and our visa was expiring. So upon waiting for a few days in Kathmandu, we couldn't get the perfect conditions to go there. Back in 1990, in fact, back in 1990s, we couldn't make that trip. Padmasambhava, he received, or rather, he attained the longevity. Longevity attainment at that cave, so it would be of great help to extend Pansuk Rinpoche's life. So we tried again back in 1995. Pansuk Rinpoche had this opportunity to go to Singapore and other places. We then had this opportunity to visit Nepal and try again to go to Maratika cave again. It was the fall of 1995. But after we arrived in Chengdu, the visa did not get approved. So Pansuk Rinpoche couldn't go to Nepal, couldn't go to Taiwan at that time or any other places. And then Pansuk Rinpoche manifested a grave illness again. He then lived at a place called the Metropolitan, so it's a villa. Pansuk Rinpoche stayed over there for 5 months. He was extremely ill, and he fell ill around the end of autumn in 1995 and started getting better in the spring of 1996. And that's the cause of his Doha song, of the Song of Victory. And then after such event, he got better. He then went to different places and he came back to Larangar. But the only thing is that he never had the opportunity again to go abroad, nor, or especially Nepal, the Maratika cave, the longevity cave. If he were to have the opportunity to meditate in the Maratika cave, I think it might extend his lifespan. Of course, it may help, may not. But to the disciples such as us, if Pansuk Rinpoche could have stayed with us for even one more day, we will be of great joy. So Pansuk Rinpoche in the winter, January 10th of 2004, passed into paranirvana. In fact, I didn't really try to finish this class. I did not even make a connection with this until the other day when I was preparing class. And then I read this again and realized that I think this is a sign that Pansuk Rinpoche had already attained the perfect Buddhahood, and Pansuk Rinpoche's Dharmakaya would never depart from the disciples. His Dharmakaya is always present, and the gratitude of a teacher such as Pansuk Rinpoche is the kindness that Pontsuk Rinpoche has shown us is much greater than the parents have ever shown us. And it is not comparable from anything from this world. Not only Pontsuk Rinpoche has manifested into this way. In fact, lots of Han Buddhist masters that they also manifest in ways that death is not really something would separate teacher and disciples, such as a Zen master would then climb into a coffin by himself, and when his disciples started to cry, thinking that the guru died or the teacher died, the teacher then climbed out of the coffin, saying that stop crying. If you were to cry, you're not considered as my disciple anymore. In fact, when Pontsuk Rinpoche stopped somewhere here, that is halfway through a teaching, I think this is quite auspicious, and also it's a sign that he never stopped teaching. Just as Khenpo Chuchu, he said that he then manifested halfway through a teaching and then passed away without complete this entire teaching. So I really hope that the Dharma teachers, you should continue to teach. And if you were to pass away halfway through giving the teaching, this is quite auspicious because you pass away halfway through turning the Dharma wheel. If you pass away after giving teaching after many years and have a long gap between the death and the Dharma teaching career, then this, I think that is not so that is not something that you should take pride in. Pontsuk Rinpoche had already passed away for almost 2 decades, but I never had any regret while I was with him. I tried all my best serving him. When I told Khenpo Deba saying that I feel that I was sharing my sadness to Khenpo Deba, and Khenpo Deba said that, well, you've already relied on the teacher for a long period of time, and you've been working and volunteering and serving your teacher, so this is fine. And now Khenpo Deba also passed away. I think through the manifestation of impermanence and death of our masters, we should realize that our life is really impermanent. Although Dharmakaya is permanent, but this body that we have, this human body that we have, is ever-changing. It is not steadfast. So the gurus, the sanghas, all the favorable conditions that we have is impermanent. Therefore, we should seize the opportunity to study the Dharma.
Chubim Zulim Jua Jodavara Shan Deepa Sanje Namda Shobjayam Jitina Tana Kamjim Chudaparatir Kayam Abshin de Taram Yeravaram Samzo Shanchabaram Beres on Divsion Shobjagale Janam Janyaraba de Tajachire on the Tagaparatir Shanchapashawa Joshua Jaravata Sanji Tijir of the Kamarasho Shobji Simjana Ganam Janyaraba de Tagadan made them Devarajaram Doa Kanji Namana Temperature Jarewa armed Parasho Shanchapab Shurbatana Dapshurajam Doa Kanda Jewa Temperature Serava Kandam Chambur Jewan Raptan Jorasho Jarava Ganji Jisam of Jeredim Zambo Shurbayon Zobshire Jam Saratamam Jerbat Million Tagapa Tagata Manyam to Mira Chuparasho Taye Kadalatan of Janakada Jalavama Dama Kanam Dam Doa Ganjeda Naman Chatamber Tamchalakata Daki Chuftanando Sham Paralation Arabs and Dip Shanchibasim Namayam Jelmajir, the Baganama de Parajer Pata, Teta Mali, on the Shawarisho, Litam Yolama the Jelly Namalim, Turjam Jitin and Doanam Zayon. Chatara Panamochi, Machapabshan, and Yola Namkara Topa Metrepshed. Jangam Jundam Shanam and Jatzam, Berhang and so doom, Galarap Tabshavarepshire. They were the lamb, Doa Kamgoraja, Doa Tamjadalana Pemberepshed. Yonsu Zobshili Jan, Simjana Dag, Jodan Temberenji, Zambo Shurbatana, Raptuna Jan, Maam Karapa, Kantab Shurper, the game Shurdan, Sombergam Shurba, the Datan, Tartam, Doperesho, Letang, Arnamatana, Simjija, Tan, Tartam, Doperesho, Letang, Arnamatana, Simjija, Shurba, Tartam, Olemashit, Shell, Darla Pamberem, Bobo, the Zambo, Shilbar of the Tumbanam, the Tagataya, Tagata, Chaparesho, the Dab, the Ginamaya, Yadamayo, Sordi, Jim, Kurim, Gombo, Namang, Gonzama, the game, Jaravata, Maom, Karapak, and the Machover, the Tagalayam, Shurpa, Jachirib, Jaravanam, Jetam, Burchums, and Jam, Shantab, Shurpak, and the Navar of Shilib, Zambo, Shurpan, and Berajawaya. Maam Karabak and Dev Jelperevji. Tadbatam Jelatayam Kurvanam, Sunamayashi, Taganam, Zalavni, Taptang Shira, Batam Zanam Tarata, Yondan and Kanjim of Zalam Tutter. The Chitana, the Nilajanam and the Jean Sam Jim, Chap Sarjanam, Sarjeti, Winam, Shipala, Shansi Shelpa, Shojam Taverevji. Tetara Mali, Tamchilla Shosaya, Chadzaman Chunla, the Examen Salinelegi, Sardi Jamzo, Janama Jamzo, Tam, Garaba, Jamzur, Jan of Tamji, Sonchi and Laga Jamzu, Decalaji, Jarava, Kanaya, and Laganam Dagapam, Doak and James and Batch of Janaya, Sardi, Sonda, Tagadam, Juperevju, the Examen Shakapa, Jarava, Tamchilla, Tagam, Kurulum, Saranam, Raptam, Kurvaye. Mabzalala, Bloy, Dovjib, Dajan, Raptamji, Maom Karapatam Chilim Jiberia, Kachi, Chikib, Dajan, Jiberja, Kayam Karapati, Saman Salite, Kachi, Chashi, Jina, Jiberipshil. There's some Abshaba, Maya, Sangika, Deta, Kachi, Jilab, the Gifta, Stata, Deta, Kanapsho, Yarala, Yamara, Kerpa, Namtara, Jimji, Kaya, Disamadaka, Jam Golapa, Deta, Derji, the Mumbred, Tetra Malim, Shonam and Tamchada, Yarava, Taka, Janam Kolamji, Kayam, Abjun, Jitin, and Durmanam, Shanjaberim, Berim, Sanjam, Korodom, Kuranyang, and the Parapta, Jam Tarton, Gombo, Kanjit on the Kandam Yervim, Zimjulatonamanta, Kanego, Yetaput of Dagatan, Kandayon, the Shelput on Namanta, Kanda Chapa, Shambataka, Kanegavim, Sunamat of Dagatan, Chapame, Parajarpa, Yashit of Sherabat Taptan, Tamzan of Tagaki, Shanchipaton, Namayan Tagata Peription. Leje don nama yonsa tabshile jam nyomo don nama gandam jambarabshil dache don nama to milerabshile jam Shabba don Zaparabji Janama Jamzo number adoption Jam Simsina Jamzo Tana number Chunama Jamzo Raptam Tonshilaja Yashi Jamzo Rapta Toparabshil Shabba Jamzo number adoption Jam Ulama Jamzo Yosa Zoparabshil Sarji Jamzo Raptam Chupshilaja Karapa Jamzo Mucho Jatvarabji Kaya Disama Shabba Jarabaya Shanchibishun Mola Mashitanam Zambo Jurbi Shanchib Sarjine, Tekanam the game I live Zoparabji. Jaravaganji teacher to back Anga Mana Kandab Zamjibsha, keep by the thumbs on Barabja Pupsher, gave one the Tagatam Jadar after no. The Tangata Yirjanam Tagajam, Shurpanam Tagajanam, Yon Tagapa, Moab Zambum, keep am Chimdrawa, Temder Tagajan, the thumbs on Barabsho. Kanegi Wab Zambo Jalapupsher. Jam Holajina, Molama Jalabarabja, Mawam Karapak and the Majover, Dave Java, Malib Zoparabja, Shulapatana, Sayuda Makeraji, Yundanam Jones of Zombie Parasho, Shapat Hamiri Palan in nature, they Takam Tarapatam Chalam Salavarabja, Nam Kim Tartiki Chirpacham, Simchana Malim, Tayan, Devjanande, Chatamali Tam, Yumum, Tajarapab, Daka, Molam and Tayan, Dezam. Kayam Shoji Janam Tai Bad in Chinam Jendim Jelavanam Lapal Hadam Yev Devam Chornamajan Jangab the Nyarakarparam Paravavi Kangiam over Jelpun the two names Shanchaban Chokaji Suram Motion Lanchikazamiam Talpa Japanam So Namantambam Chotam Tanjero Kangi Zamshan Molam and the Tapi Tinangan Sontam Jalapavaram Jer Dena Topo and Barbayan Nawa Thai, they are them Yaram. They Taganyar Param Yara, they were home, it seemed very young, they Tagala Para. Zambo te Chandra, they Rambaram Togotim Jer. Some meeting about the deep and I'm Kanga, Mashi, one give she pata. They Zambo Sherpam, the Jedanam, near the Malay, also Shawaram Jer. Is she done the Ziton, Sanam, Rita, Katanam, Tadam, Baram Jer, the Tamar, Tamam, Puti, Matap, Jitin, Sambo, Kanam, Shelaparam Jer. Shanchipishan, one round the Demiram Do, Sony, Simjanam, Hamshire, them there stay. Shanchipis are Jim Cordor of the Cor, the Namade Dam Jipa, Tamchelabdal. Kayam Zambo, Shilpa, Molam, and the Hamchawa. Tuntamalonaya, the number member on Jim Chen, Shanchim Chola, Somnia Mapsich, Jamholawa, Chitrim Timbada, Kandab Zambo, they on division and they Takan Jim, Jism, the Hobshire, gave one the Takatam Chatar of them. This is a sharp Jeratam Chitty, more I can't lam Chatam Gapati, Daka gave us Savan, the Kanajan, Zambo Chupshire of them more of you. Danam Chevim, Tipshire Jerpana, Japatam Jadatanam, Sam Salate, Monsamano, am Taim, Tim Tony, Deva Janji, Jean Terraptum, Terson in Mulam and the Tarjam, Tamchadamani, Muntam, Yeravarasho, Tetaramali, Daki, also calm, Jitan and Chetala, Simchan and Pamperabja, Jalavat, Jalam Korabzan, Gavatir, Pamotam, back and them Zilishi. Now I'm Tai, Jalavim, Monsamanda, Lontan. Bayam Daki Tirtubisho. Terna Daki Lontan Raptabani to the Pama Bobshivam Tarjay. Loy to Jim Shochan, I'm Sayang, Simjan and Amla Bamba Mambobia. Zambob Sherba Mulamadum Baya, give a chance of the Kim Chasapa. Dover Molama Gawana, Kachi, Chiki, Tamchadam Jurvarisho. Kaya Zambu Shurban, Demopi, Sunamantai, and back on 30. Do have the Hulam Chur of Shawanam, or the Wagami, the Pernira, but Operation. Molama Jelbun, the Takam Choker, so I'm tying, do I can lap and shitty. And the Zambu Jambu, Jean Travesti, Nanson in a mamali, Sanjir samani shan badam chunyala man garabdim bab shan lavta Gimdana mapshanam damba shan bajin chatar moa mona mandaparisho Tania da banzan jaya awan budana so high Bami diji durji danjam jeta panam rivdera balamba karamanto londa ripa wachim shik Jimile banzo javla soravandip Tijadar gomba shan banyan lajik Tiyada chitam diper shinji alo sortaya tamadon meran salanga mela Andabara kim zipa bam trova sasama jarava jam sum chani jege la shin chin baba shi pa salama mila jam zara lawa nyam tagam dor takpa yesh nawam chok zalab jam sop shang ham yipa nyam jara tong rong kip jip zin mala saravan katse mam jara durji shi suf tan chanim zapim shok chem kor lo chab nyem dun chayam tam si sama tam do phan de rang ta chong jara jig jam ni jarava tep chada zam mo tam thadana tam chong jam sum nim thi sto ba yon mela lak sama dem Bariman Dotton Rap Gimson Barajarajim Lapa Samandan Narmin Zambayam Depa Zoji Nimdara Yonga Jan Tatab Shalajib Shavi Tadam Tiwar Taptanam Shamdar Jipan Chashi
尊敬的上师仁波切，尊敬的堪布堪姆，现场所有的道友们，大家晚上好。心中有莲花开见佛，污泥如烦恼痛苦莲。